guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jemecia Capri, the nurse practitioner extraordinaire. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Guys, today I am doing a question and answer about nurse practitioner school. These questions come in on several of my videos. And I just wanted to do one video to answer your questions about my nurse practitioner school experience. Okay, so let's just jump right in. I went to Wright State University in Ohio, and at the time there were not that many online programs, but there was like a little hybrid option. I didn't take advantage of it, but that was there. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to be looking down a little bit to answer the questions that you guys have asked me on several of my videos. So how many hours are required for Wright State University's nurse practitioner program or any nurse practitioner program? So at the time that I was going through nurse practitioner school, the requirement was higher than it is now. So the requirement was like 750 hours. So it was 250 hours of primary care, and that could be kind of split up. And then there was another 250 hours of women's health, and then 250 hours of pediatrics, so 750 hours. Now, at the time, we were allowed to, they gave us preceptors, so we didn't have any choice in that. Now, you guys have to find your preceptor. A lot of you guys have to find your preceptor. So, so 750 hours to answer that question. The next question is, how long did it take for you to finish nurse practitioner school? Now for me, I went full time. So it took me 3 years, and it took 3 years because of the actual school that I was going to. Now, some of the students that I work with now, it only takes them like 2 years. So depending on how you do it, if you go full time, it's gonna be anywhere between 2.5 years to 3 years to complete. Sometimes it's even longer than that. It may be 4, depending on how you're entering the program, okay? So some students are entering the program like fresh, and they're going to get their MP with their DMP, whatnot, and all that good stuff. But like for me, it took 3 years, okay? And the next question is, where should I go to nurse practitioner school? I'm looking at Chamberlain, Walden, and South/Purdue. So, you know, guys, they're all relevant. I say that my motto is go where you get in. Okay. But it does have to fit your needs, right? So some people have no problem, you know, finding preceptors so they can get a preceptor on their own. But other people may have a problem with that, so they probably need a school that will help with getting a preceptor. And you guys, if you watch any of my other videos, you know how I feel about preceptorship and preceptor. Some people charge for it, and in this day and age, you may have to pay to get a preceptor. I personally don't, you know, charge for being a preceptor. I just am not in that space right now, but you know, you may have to do that. So yeah. How much did it cost to go to nurse practitioner school? So for me at the time, it cost $36,000 for me to go to nurse practitioner school. And that's probably kind of low because, you know, I went back in the day, but it's anywhere from 46 to on up right now in some of the programs. So you may have the opportunity to get some of that waived depending on where you get a job, depending on, you know, where you work and stuff like that. Now I have nurses who work with me who have gotten all of that paid for, you know, through our job, which is through the government. So that's something to think about too. Sometimes your employer will help you pay to go back to nurse practitioner school. So I don't think that should be a barrier for anyone. You know, just get the loan and pay it back. I know that sounds easy, but you know, it'll be worth it. Okay. What was your GPA? Okay, so guys, I had a unique situation. Now, my GPA going into trying to get into nurse practitioner school, if I remember correctly, and I should go look, but I'm not gonna do that. But if I remember correctly, it was somewhere around 3.5 to 3.6. But I don't think mine really had to do that much with that, because at the time they were trying to get more ethnicity in their schools. So it had to do with a little bit of that as well. But GPA, I really don't think should be a barrier, again, because you know, there's so many schools out there. And another thing too, the school that I went to did not require me to have the GRE. Now, some schools do require you to have the GRE, but the school I went to did not. And a lot of schools don't require that as well. It just depends on where you go. Like my girlfriend, she's going to, right now, she's going to get her MSN, DMP all in one swoop at Johns Hopkins. And they do require some testing like that, some GRE, okay? So it just depends on what you choose. It's all relevant. Okay, next question is, should I do PA school or nurse practitioner school? I am currently an RN. Okay, so that's gonna be up to you. For me, because I was a nurse already, it was just the easier track to go on. Actually, my daughter is going into PA school, but she has no nursing background. So she has MA background, so that kind of makes sense to me that she would go the PA track. But if you have nursing experience, you know, it's gonna be your own choice. I can't tell you one way or the other. I can just tell you the way I went. And the way I went was just directly into nurse practitioner school, worked a couple years, and then I went to get my DMP. Okay, so that's what I decided to do. So either way, guys, however you decide to do it, I just love being a nurse practitioner with my DMP. Okay, let's see. Did you have any experience as an RN? Yes. Or what was my experience as an RN? So my experience going into nurse practitioner school was, I started off as a cardiac nurse. So I started off in a specialty. So I had cardiac background, cardiac step down, telemetry. And what I did was, I could not stay in that role while going to school because I went to school full time. So what I did was, I began to be a house float. So I floated all over the house at night in order to continue working and get money while I went to school full time. So I turned into a house float. And by doing that, I worked only weekend nights, and then during the week I went to school. So that's how I managed it. Okay. All right, so the next, let me turn the page. And you know, guys, as I answer these questions, I just feel like being a nurse practitioner, being a nurse, getting my doctorate in nursing, it's just really been a great experience for me. And if you're thinking about it, I really, you know, I've had a great experience. Some people, you know, have not had as a great experience as I have, but it's been really good for me. So I think you should go for it. Anyway, okay. Next question is, what about math? Did you do well in math? And you know, is that a big part of nursing? Okay, so yes, I did okay, you know, in math. I don't know how I passed statistics, but I did. But you learn how to calculate drugs. You learn how to do all that good stuff in nursing, like basic nursing. So we don't do anything much more as a practitioner, but I have learned that I have to draw on those skills when I do my pediatric calculations. But you know, we can use a calculator. So I use my calculator. You can use your apps. There are some apps that automatically let you put stuff in and will calculate dosages for you. Hippocrates has all that good stuff. So if math is not your strong suit, I don't think it's gonna knock you out of being successful, you know, in nurse practitioner school, nor will it knock you out in clinical practice. You just have to get comfortable with saying that, you know, hey, I need to calculate this out. Let me look at this app, and then I'll get that, you know, calculated for you. That's pretty much it. And you'll get comfortable doing that, I promise you. So the next question is, really don't, is there a lot of writing in nurse practitioner school? I really don't write well. Okay, so there's a lot of writing. Yes, there is. And you know, as a professor myself, so you guys are not in nursing to write. I get it, I do. But at the graduate level, it does require you to write. And as I was going through nurse practitioner school, I kind of bucked the system too. But you really can't buck the system because there's a lot of writing. Whether that be papers, whether that be discussion boards, whatever it is, communication, period, you have to write. And it's gonna be a learning curve, but it's not gonna be a make or break situation, because I feel that most of your instructors are nurses and they've been there and they kind of understand. Not all of them do, because some of them are really, really strict and they're just like awesome with writing. But for the most part, I think you'll be fine. But yes, there's a lot of writing. And if you struggle, you may have to not work while you go to nurse practitioner school. But it's a lot of busy work. It's a lot of reading, a lot of writing. It's the reading for me, guys. I mean, I love to read, but all the chapters, there's a lot of chapters, and I don't want to deter you, you know, because you can get through it, but you have to be prepared for the amount of reading and writing, because it's a lot of it, okay? So don't say I didn't tell you. All right, yes, let's see. MPs had a, yeah, I wanted to tell you. So the actual program that I went to, as far as preceptorship and getting my hours and getting my skills at Wright State University, and I don't know if they still do this, but the school I went to, they had a skills lab that we would go to like every week. And in this lab, they had live actual students, like not students, live people that we can like listen to, we can do exams on. We had live people to touch feel. We didn't have like a sim, you know, a patient, like a, you know, a Tina or anything like that. We had actual people. So that was pretty awesome. Also, the nurse practitioners who taught in the program collaborated and got together and started a clinic. And so their actual clinic that they had, they took students from the program and they would let the students come through there and get certain hours and experience. So that was totally awesome. Okay, so last question or last thing. Should I go straight to get my DNP? Well, that's going to be your choice. Now, I didn't do it that way, but it is an option. If you're a nurse and you feel like eventually you're going to want to get your DNP to be a doctor of nursing practice, then you know that's your choice. However, I did not do that. DNP wasn't even in existence when I went. So, you know, and I don't know that I would have done that just because I needed to work. I needed to have the income, you know, as a nurse practitioner because of my family. So just going straight through to DNP wouldn't have been an option for me. And I kind of thank God that I didn't do it that way. But that is just my journey. Those are the questions that you guys asked, and I hope I answered everything. If you have more questions and you want another video like this, please leave me some questions down in the comment section. Smash that like button, subscribe to my channel. And yeah, so that's it, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Take care.